So let's get to our next guest here. He's ready to hear from us. He's a world champion, 2-time world champion. One of the nicest guys in the sport. Big part of the R&D behind the Stark e-bike that we just saw launched, and we're happy to have him on the show tonight. Friend of the show, Sebastian Tortelli. What's up, Seb?
Hello. Doing good.
Thank you for calling in. Jason Thomas in studio here.
What's happening?
Awesome.
Early morning.
Hey, Jason.
How are you?
I missed you in Italy. I thought you were in Italy.
I was a while ago, but I'm home.
Well, for the GP.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the GP.
You don't see Seb at these races?
I didn't know he was there.
What?
Yeah, I was there on Saturday, and then I saw you commenting on Sunday, and I'm like, oh man, I missed him.
Yeah, I was in meetings all day on Saturday anyway.
Also in studio, Jason Wygant, Seb. So
howdy.
He's here.
Hello.
Seb, what's your best JT story where you just saw him get so angry? What did he get?
I wasn't that angry all the time.
Did the Husqvarna break on him like one time or 2 times, or like what was?
No, I don't have big memories of JT being mad or anything. He was always good. We trained all the time together, and then he had to go back and do some pumping irons, which I didn't. But he was good. I think he took anger away from there.
Did Seb ever get on the Husky?
No, I don't think he ever did.
Okay,
no.
yeah.
No, I don't think there was ever any desire to ride it. The only person that ever rode it was Timmy, and he rode it like half a lap and handed it back to me and said, I'm good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no desire. I don't know why.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Seb Tortelli on the PulpMX show. Thanks for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. So I talked to you at maybe Geneva or Paris or one of them, and you told me you were working with something, and we'll hear it very soon. I remember that, and I don't know if it was the Stark bike, but so the Stark e-bike came out, the e-motorcycle came out, and you're a big part of the R&D behind it.
Yep.
Take us through that process, Seb. Anton at Stark approached you, and you got on the bike, and sort of tell us the history behind your involvement with this.
I mean, it's been already a year that I'm with them.
Mm-hmm.
We started collaborating a while back, and I helped them through some of the design and changing the design in the plastic, because at first we had just like a prototype, but not with the working parts.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through that and changed a few times body works and different thing on the bike to make it more suitable for riding.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get designer always involved, they like to do crazy things. And I'm like, yeah, we need to come in down and make it good for riding. So we went through that at first, and then helped them through developing the body work mainly, until Paul, which is the head engineer, was able to come up with the engine and the all part. I mean, the battery is more Anton idea. Mm-hmm. That he's the one who developed it and find solutions for it to make it better. And Paul was the guy who designed the chassis and then the engine.
Mm-hmm. He
had the electric background on the past, so that was that. And then in early November, we got the bikes with all the parts. I mean, it's expensive bikes since they're all CNC's parts. So right. It's like, quite expensive. We got the true prototype and started testing and get the bike, where it is today, which is we evolved quite a bit. We saw the couple things we need to improve. And today we are at 65% of what the bike is capable of. Because we have only 2 prototypes at this time, and then we don't want to break them.
Mm-hmm.
And then in January we're supposed to get the pre-production bikes.
Yep.
Yeah, pre-production bikes, which that's the one we're going to push to higher limits.
Have you ever ridden one before? I've got some time on the Alta. I thought it was so cool, so amazing. Had you ever ridden anything before you got on the Stark?
Yeah, the first one, I think after I retired, I went through Eric Perronat. He did like a race at New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So I raced the Zero at that time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, I raced that. And then after I rode the KTM E.
Oh yeah.
Quite a bit, because my 6 riders has in Germany the E-Dirt Arena, mm-hmm. So I was able to ride quite a bit with that, and then went to California also 2 years ago to ride the Alta maybe like 4 months before they went bankrupt.
Okay. Yeah.
Spend the week at Castillo Ranch, and Alta was super nice to give us the 2 bikes, and I was able to test the bike there for a full week, so that was pretty cool. And that's where I am with my experience on the electric until I jump on the Stark.
They're really neat, aren't they? Isn't it so cool to ride one? Weege, have you or JT? You guys haven't ridden an Alta, have you?
I have.
Oh, you have?
I have not on a track though. Like around a
Just
parking
around
lot.
a parking lot.
up roads and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. So you've ridden one, Weege.
Yeah, I
they-
rode on like a sand track.
They are.
It was awesome.
It was amazing to ride on an e-bike like that. It's just wow.
Yeah, no, I think their bike was they had the good ideas. For me, I think the only problem is they didn't really work on the chassis side. They just went and did an engine and then tossed it into a frame, and the bike was a little bit wide and the balance was not where it's supposed to be. So that's the only problem I had when I rode with it on the track. I mean, I tried to go to whoop section, and I saw Josh going to whoop section. I'm like, hats off, because it was pretty front and heavy, and for me, I was not able to commit.
Wow.
So
The Stark seems amazing. Like they say, it's 80 horsepower at its max, which is a ton. I can't even imagine that. And then
we are not there yet, but
Right.
it's close.
Right. So you can customize this Stark to have 125 power, 250 power, 450 power, right? Seb, you can kind of
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can
that's
have
cool.
the beginner where the guy doesn't know how to ride. You put him on it, and even to the fact that if you fall down, the bike shut down, or do things like that, and then you push the button. 2 seconds later, you can have a 450, or you can have a 250, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that is amazing, and a big part of what I need to do is to work on all these power curves and be able to get it where customers can go in and pick what they want. I mean, if it's a muddy day, they can click on the mud curve, and or if it's dry hard pack, they can do it. Or if they want a 2-stroke, we can. The advantage of electric is that you can massage everything around with a click of a button, and at the end of the day, you have the possibility to do your own power curve also.
Yeah. You got a little Android phone that plugs into the front of it, and it seems really customizable.
Keyfer map.
Yeah, keyfer mapping, right?
Yeah.
KYB suspension too. How's the chassis? How do you feel on it? What does it feel like, Seb, to you?
I mean, to me, it just the chassis feel pretty close to a Honda. So I was very, very happy about that, because the bike is very nimble, and you can move around the bike very easy. I mean, today we have the prototype, so obviously it's heavier than pre-production, but you don't feel the weight. I mean, the only time you feel the weight is when you have to push the bike to put it back into the van. So that's that's the whole hard workout. But otherwise, no, the chassis is really balanced, and that's something that was very important for me, from my experience with the Alta. That I didn't want to have the bike to have front and heavy. So that's why, actually, if you see on the picture, the battery is coming back underneath the frame to balance this out. I mean, we are probably looking at a 45 front, 55% rear, the weight.
Yeah.
Which is I think the right balance.
And how did the pre-orders go? Do you know? Have you talked to those guys? Was it successful?
Yeah. I mean, we had quite a bit some celebration last week. I mean, it went crazy. I mean, the guys. I mean, it went way better. I cannot give you numbers, but it went way better than they expected. I mean, it was like madness.
Wow.
Madness.
Nice.
The first week, it was unbelievable.
Wow. Nice.
Seb, how long this came out of nowhere? Essentially, last Monday was really the first time I heard of it. You didn't even ride it until November, it sounds like. So even pretty recent for you. How long ago were you involved with this, and how long have you been waiting to ride it?
Over a year.
Oh wow.
That's over a year we've been working at it and changing things and just having everything ready for it. We changed a few things over that year, and we have like I told. We have some new engine coming up, the pre-production, which is an evolution of the one we have today, because we saw some more issue to testing. So that's to get to the maximum power of the bike, and then the battery also will be used better that way. So we changed a few things, because like you say, electric is awesome, no noise, and that's the main thing. But we need to have a bike that lasts, and the goal of the company is to make it last for a Moto with a good speed.
Now the presentation I got from Anton and Ben and Eric the few days before it launched was you could get 35 minutes on it ish on an outdoor track on your speed.
Yeah. My speed.
Yeah, your speed, right? Which is much better than most of us. Even though you're retired, Seb, I'm sure you can still ride a motorcycle pretty good. Because one of the things Kiefer, my buddy Chris Kiefer developed the Alta and worked with those guys, and he's also a very good rider. And like around 2025, the Alta started slowing down a little bit. Battery technology where it's at. So this is better than that, much better.
Yeah, much better, because I think the problem we had with the Alta was the overheating. I mean, obviously I rode the Alta, and I could do 3 laps and got the flashing light the bike was already overheating.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was the main issue they had on the bike, and so that's where it was complicated.
Yeah.
But no, I mean the guys thinks that at the end of the day, we will be able to do a full 35 minutes moto and 6 hours on the trails.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, and can you even say how long it would take to charge that, or is it too early in the process for you guys?
No, it depends. I mean, it's you can have a fast charge with I think it's like 1 hour. Regular current is 2 hours.
Okay.
But if you get like a Tesla or the new Ford, I think it's like in 10 minutes you can have the bike charged. With the high capacity of their battery.
I see. Now, look, one thing I think that people are missing here is, people don't really want to hear the environmental advantages. Motocross people, generally, they don't really care about that.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, I don't know if you noticed this,
I
Steve.
haven't noticed that, no.
But this bike is a European company. I think that is a little more what that audience wants to hear. And also I hear, although noise is a problem with tracks in America, it's much more of a problem with tracks in Europe, right? So I have a feeling this is going to be more readily accepted over there.
I mean, this, that's where we have tracks closing right and left and all you want. I mean, the main thing is, I think the problem we have is not the gas bike. I mean, it's not the gas by itself. It's the noise.
Yeah.
And especially with COVID, when it hits, the tracks were closed for a while, and the people were used to have no more noise. And all the petitions start going on because the track were closed. And oh, that's so nice without a motorcycle going around. So that's where we had a huge, advantage, because that bike has, they have noise, which is electric noise, which is very, very, low, but you still feel the way with the noise, you still feel the acceleration, you still feel the braking, you still have that. It's not like silence where you have completely nothing. You still have that zit, is still there for acceleration.
I found it so weird to time jumps. Like, you come out of a turn and you're coming up to a tabletop and you're like, okay, like I know my motor's sound and I know I'm going to clear this tabletop. I found myself on the Alta, like over jumping stuff front end high, where I'm like, oh shit, like you can't hear your motor, so you can't judge your power curve.
And the gears. You don't have gears.
Yeah, you don't have any of that. It's so weird.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually, I jump back and forth. I ride all the brands to be able to compare and do different things. And for me, I mean, I up over the bike and I don't have a problem. I mean, we did, we rode Belle Pouch, which is a big track. We rode big tracks where they got the dirt, tilted and very deep. So, I mean, we got different conditions. And for me, I mean, it just, the only difference, I jump on it and I feel right away good. And, the power is the same, basically. I mean, I know the speed I need to hit stuff, and then it goes naturally.
Right. I told the guys on the conference call, JT, I said, well, if anybody's going to find something to break, it'll be Seb. Like, the Honda guys, Shane Drew and the Honda guys are still like, oh, my God, Tortelli, like just a beast on a motorcycle, just so hard on a bike, right?
Yep. Yeah, but yours came in, though.
What's that?
I'm wiser. I say the years.
Oh,
came in,
yeah.
So. When's delivery, like, as far as so this pre-order thing just happened? When are they expecting to get a bike if you ordered last week?
I think it's September, October. That's their goal.
Okay.
I mean, we are right now. They are getting the lineup to build the bikes, and so they will be normally that's the goal. I mean, get everything ready and be able to deliver everything in once. So that's their goal, and very motivated to make this happen. And it's been it's part of what the company is. I mean, it's very the company has very high goals, and they are very. For me, I mean, what I like is everything needs to be top notch. So that's the way they think. So it makes things a little bit for me easier because we push on the right direction. We push to have a top notch product that will make people like when they jump on it, it will be like a big wow compared to I think the way they come out was a big bang, and I think when the next one will be when the people are going to start riding it is going to be like, man, I cannot believe it. Really.
Did you see Rabaud do the backflip on it?
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. Seb, were you next to do the backflip on it, or were you?
No. I was doing the whoops.
Okay.
That track had whoops, and it was like concrete whoops.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. It's a scary thought when you go to concrete whoops.
Yeah.
That was like, yeah.
So I understand too. There's a little bit of discussion with the FIM and Infront about maybe making there's a class for these.
Yeah, no. I mean, the goal today is not to make a class; is to be able to ride with thermics. That's. I think the French Federation is pretty open. The Italian Federation is pretty open to see maybe even in 22, see if we can do couple races with that bike into the French Championship and Italian Championship as a wild card. But really, the goal of the company is to try to be able to make be part of the regular scene,
right.
not to have the electric scene by itself.
Weege, you had a good point about this. So to talk about the Alta guys, racing the Alta stuff.
Yeah, I have a feeling when I talked to the Alta guys when that started, I think back in 2016, they said, here's the big advantage we have at motocross. You don't race for 4 hours. It's not a car race. It's not an F1 race. The riders can ride 30 minutes tops before they're tired. So it's the only chance electric will have to beat gas heads up is probably in a dirt bike race.
Oh, I didn't mean this
So
story.
that's what makes that appealing.
I didn't mean this story.
Okay, you got something else?
Your story about Alta saying, hey, man, this is a 254 stroke. That's the class we want to be in.
That was, was one of the big obstacles.
Alta was like, we are in a 254 stroke class. MX Sports, AMA Pro Racing's like, wait, but
how do we know you're a 250?
How do we know? And truthfully, I believe they should have let them try, but they didn't even want to let them try. The Stark can be a 450. It's fast. It's on that level. So I think you're gonna not have that obstacle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be easier to be like, this is in the big bike class,
Yeah, what Stock is working on for FIM is to have like a download chip where you have a laptop and then you take the chip off the motorcycle and then you can see the power of curve that the bike delivered. So then you can get disqualified if you don't use the right curve for the right category. And
so
that's I think.
Yeah.
We're showing you had 80 horsepower on the start.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, exactly. Something to show like, hey, this is the same horsepower-ish limit and all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we are up, ahead of our times, and I think we are moving, things, roughing up some stuff, and FIM has to catch up with it also to be able to be in the move. And I think that's the right direction for them because, I mean, in the future, the FIM is very aware that a lot of tracks are closing and we have less rider base getting built, and that's the problem. You have less riders, you have less racing, and I mean the sport will be dying, especially if the guys want to shut everything down.
Right, Seb. Do you see yourself racing this thing? I mean, you look like you're still in shape. You look like. You look good.
Yeah. There's some possibilities that they'll do a couple events for the fun of it. And I know the Italian Federation was like, hey, if Seb can do it, then no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Seb is fine. Seb is fine.
Yes.
Well, I don't know, Seb, because maybe the last time you raced, I mean, Pedro Gonzalez beat you pretty bad down there in Mexico.
No, that's not true.
With JT. That's what I read on the internet. I mean, it said
Didn't
Pedro.
have anything for him.
Everett's nothing.
Maybe they took me out on the first turn or something. They came with big guns.
Everett's nothing.
Couldn't get him.
No. Villeman, nothing.
Pedro was simply unstoppable. Although Balbi wanted to.
Yeah, true. He was the one.
Balbi didn't get the word.
No, Balbi was headed for glory.
Right. We got some calls for you. We got some calls for you, Seb, here, but because I have you on FaceTime, you can't hear the callers, but we have them on here. Ryan wants to know where the company came from. What's the roots of the company?
Oh, basically, Anton is and his partner are part of 24MX, and they sold the company before. And so they basically had the idea of they wanted to do something to stay in the sport and do something with the sport. So that's how they decided to build a real electric motorcycle, a dirt bike, and not halfway. That's the first time I met Anton. I'm like, I'd be happy to be part of the project if it is a motocross bike, not a mountain bike halfway cross. I'm like, I'm not interested in this. So if we do the real deal, I'm good for it. And that's the way it came up. Paul had also, which is a co-owner, sorry, had a background in building electric bikes. So that's how they team up together and they build the company in Barcelona. So basically, that's two passionate guys who wanted to change the future of motocross.
And it's a Swedish company. Stark is Swedish for king, right? And and Varg is Swedish for wolf. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's a Barcelona. It's a Spanish company at the end of the day.
Right.
The company is based in Barcelona.
Right.
So it's all in house. The bikes will be assembled in Barcelona. So everything will start from here.
Ryan is sorry, that was Ryan's question. Another caller said, "What did you think of that mini moto race on the Zero?"
I never raced. I raced the Zero, and I think that was the first evolution of the bike.
Okay.
And for me, it felt like I was riding a mountain bike with at the time mountain bike with power. You could hear the chain, and I think this one had hand brakes and not rear foot brake. So it was like really more close to a mountain bike compared to a motocross bike. And they, I think Zero went to also develop more road racing style bikes today. So they went on a different angle, and to me it was a fun day. It was a good toy. That's the way I look at it. We cannot compare the Stark to a toy. Definitely, when you have in hands, you go fast, and what I like about it is because you don't have the inertia of the 450. You don't get in trouble that much. It's like when the bike starts swapping. there's no the bike stops right away. You don't have that inertia where you start swapping with a 450. You better hand hold on and then squeeze everything to make sure it goes. And with the Stark, you don't have that. Because there's not that gyro mass who get you in trouble.
Yeah. Another caller wants to know if there's a clutch. There's not a clutch, but is there a brake on that side? You
can choose a rear brake by your feet or by your foot or by the hand on the left side.
Right.
We are talking about future evolution to have an enduro bike. We're looking at that possibilities, and if we have enduro, we know that an enduro bike will need a clutch.
Right.
So that's something that we are talking about and trying to have for the future. And also the fact that they want to have more than one bike, and coming with 85 also will be also in the plan. So the company is there to evolve and have more than one bike. That's for sure.
Sebastian Tortelli on the show, brought to you by the folks at Vertex Pistons, sales at pivoworks.com, 2-stroke, 4-stroke pistons, bringing you Sebastian Tortelli on the show. Also, by the way, Wygan and I did a Re-Raceables pod with Glen Helen 99 with Seb maybe like 2 months ago. One of the top 5 rides I've ever seen in my life, without a doubt. I don't know if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. It's just in the rides of the greatest rides I've ever seen. Sebastian Tortelli, Glen Helen 99. Yeah.
Unreal.
Unbelievable.
That was a bang, same thing as the Stark, that's for sure. That was, I think,
everybody
got caught off guard.
Yeah, that was just the speed. There was the downhill, and it went right back up. It was like a banana uphill. You must have been going 15 miles per hour faster than some dudes going down that hill.
Well, I think there was that ride, and then I think, he mentioned caught people off guard, the LA Coliseum.
Yeah.
What?
No. He was a lapper, right? Art thought he was a lapper, right? So,
Many people thought about that.
Yeah.
Art wasn't really always up on things that were happening.
No.
He
wasn't.
No.
But anyway, so check that out, people. It's a great pod. We called Sebastian up, and he goes through us 99 Glen Helen. JT, when I ask you about Seb, riding with him, training with him day in and day out for a couple of years at least, I went out there a few times with you guys. What do you think of what was those days like for you and Sebastian?
Well, I mean, Seb did a lot for me.
Yeah.
Genuinely one of the most hospitable people I've ever met. Bent over backwards to help me every way possible, on the bike, off the bike. And yeah, just anytime I ever think about Seb, it's like literally one of the nicest people ever.
Yep.
And forget about the dirt bike stuff, that, all the world championships and the things he did in America. Who cares? Like, him as a person, he's like in that category of Andrew Short, and he's like up there, right? That's immediately what I think of. So I would tell you that if he wasn't on the phone. Like, that's just who he is and who he was. So
I appreciate it.
No,
we had some good years and some good training, that's for sure. Some good memories. Florida was a very good time for me.
I went out with you guys one time, and Seb was having some problems with his Honda. It's 250. And Seb, I was a mechanic. It would have been KTM maybe, or maybe Nick Way, I don't know. And he was like, "Hey man, this is what you pulled your tank off, and it looked like a fucking F-16 fighter jet with all the electronics." I'm like, "I'm out. I'm out, Seb. We don't have this at Yamaha on my privateer bike, so I'm completely out." I remember that. That was funny. I couldn't help you that day. Seb, when you're a French guy, obviously, and you're coming into America, do you feel like, and you were beating Carmichael at times, right? Did you feel like you got? I mean, you're the nicest guy, like JT said. Your interviews were good. You were always humble. You spoke well, like all that stuff. Did you ever feel like you got some American fans on your side, or was it a constant feeling of like, these guys hate me, they love Carmichael, I just got to get through this? How did you feel?
No, not at all. Actually,
Nope.
I thought people really liked me, and I never had any issues. Like Shane Drew was saying, he's the least French guy you can even imagine.
Yeah.
But for me, no. I think the what I liked about the crowd, and they were like, they're a fan of racing, and they saw that I gave everything that I got at racing, and I think that's where we got along really good. I mean, a lot of fans, and never had any issue. I mean, obviously, the first year I came in, I was at Paris, and I beat Jeff, and then so that's close to his town, and that was like a pre-race before the Coliseum. So I got
Paris Raceway. I thought you meant Paris, France.
Yeah,
no, Paris Raceway. Oh, okay.
No, Paris Raceway.
Yeah,
and a few guys dropped their pants on me, but it was it was fun. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's okay. And the first year at Glen Helen, I got a couple beers, so I was
okay.
That was something that was like the party before the end of the Moto.
Yeah.
But that was actually the only two races.
Yeah.
And then after that, people start to know me, and they never had a problem, and they always came and we talk, and that was never an issue. Really, never an issue. That's for sure.
Also, too, Seb's no fear look Honda. That was a strong look.
Mm-hmm.
Good look,
yeah.
Good. Yeah, that was
the 44.
Yeah,
with the one hand guard.
Yeah.
That's because that was due to a crash before. I mean, I was at Stanton training, and then the same track I used to have for years, and then I was going over a curve, and the next thing I know, I was just flying up in the air, missed like a big oak tree, and then the bike just went and then wrapped around the oak tree. I mean, the bike was like, maybe 4 hours old. And that was like a big mess. And that's when I hurt my hand. I was lucky that was just the hand, but actually there was a wire fence who was sticking off of the jump.
Unreal.
And basically when I went around, it just caught my foot peg. And he just like stopped and then just went like straight, over the bars. And I'm like, do you know what happened?
Wow.
So
how about Suzuki days? You cased the leap. You broke a frame. Suzuki's like, we got to change the frame. Sebastian just breaks an aluminum frame.
Yep. Well, and I think, it wasn't it's been a long time ago, but I think that
Jason, your Husky would have just blew up.
It would have, it would have just combusted, spontaneously combusted, and poof, and it's just
turn to dust.
Yeah. But like, that crash at Unadilla with Doug, I think Seb wins the title that year in '99.
I think so too.
Without that incident,
'99. That would have been a good year without the crash with Doug Henry.
Yeah, and obviously you ran in.
I was. Yeah.
I mean, Carmichael was really difficult to beat. Obviously, that history bore that out. But I think that '99.
Well,
it was his to lose.
Weech and I brought this up a few times. We brought this up on the Re-Raceables pod in 00 or 01. What year? You led the series at the halfway mark. Like you were beating Ricky.
With RC,
2000.
Yeah,
like everyone says, oh, RC just crushed outdoors.
No, man, it was back and forth.
Right, like he didn't. In 2000, Seb was leading, and they were going back and forth. I'm not saying Seb would have won for sure, but it's not this Ricky dominance that everybody remembers. Seb, you were.
Well, and I mean, Redbud, he just straight up put it to him.
Yeah.
I mean, period. End of story.
Yeah.
You know, that
that
didn't happen
and
to
I
Ricky
ran out
very
of gas
often.
on that one too.
Yeah, finish line, yeah.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
Redbud is like a love and hate. I love the track.
Yep.
But I had some amazing races and then some very devastating ones too.
There were only a couple of races in Carmichael's career outdoors where somebody just said, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Like Timmy beat him, did everything he could in his arsenal to hold him off, right? But for someone to just be like, "Okay, I'm gonna pass."
Timmy never beat him like Seb.
No, but I'm saying pass him, and I'm out of here. Like that didn't happen.
Yeah, Renard,
very often.
Seb, James,
very. I don't even know what James
Wyndham.
ever did. Did James ever do it?
Well, I thought he would have, but maybe not.
I don't think
Wyndham,
so.
a couple times.
Yeah.
But even in the Wyndham ones, it was seldom that, like, he held them off a few times. But there was
Washougal. Washougal, he beat him pretty good. But
it was just very rare air.
You can count it on one hand the number of guys that just smoked Ricky outdoors.
Out of 175 races.
Right.
Yeah.
So
no, for sure.
And
it was a tough one. That's for sure.
And again, like,
and it's always it's like when I raced with Stefan, it was Everts. It was different because we are opposite characters,
right.
And even riding style, everything is opposite. But I went to battle with RC. I mean, it's exactly the same as me. I'm racing against myself because I know the guy won't give up. You know, and I'm not going to give up, but he's not going to give up either. So everything is always pushing up to the limit. And I remember times where we tested with Suzuki at his place. And we were battling, like lap times all day, back and forth. I'm faster, you get faster, I'm back to faster than you. And then at the end of the day, RC said, I'm done, I'm going back. And I go out one more time and I beat his lap time. And he wasn't dressed. And Jenny told him, nope, you get back up dressed and then you go back and you got to beat Sebastian. You cannot have him faster on your track.
Oh, wow.
So that was like never ending.
Oh man!
And then Berluti came in and told us a story here about how you made everybody tiramisu one night.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a guy!
Unbelievable.
He made me a quiche.
He made you a quiche.
Made me a quiche one time.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Timmy never made me shit. So I'm just saying, Red Dog never made me anything.
Fixed your back.
Yeah, he did. But he made he made you quiche.
He did make me a quiche.
Yeah, but that's easy to do. Actually,
it was great. No, I can't make a quiche.
Can anybody in this room make a quiche?
I can't make a quiche.
No, nobody in this
not
room.
Easy to do.
I can barely spell quiche.
Right. And tiramisu, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Cannot make tiramisu.
But listen, Everts is an all-timer, but his career looks a lot different if Seb stays in Europe. Let's face it, absolutely. I don't know who beats who or whatever, but
it's not 10 titles.
It's probably not.
No, for sure it would have been different for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? So I think when you look at Hurlings or Everett's or whatever, you got to be like, these guys came to America.
I think Sebastian's paychecks looked a little bit differently when he came to America as well.
Yeah, probably, right?
Compared to back then.
Yeah, probably. Sebastian Tortelli on the PulpMX Show, brought to you by VertexPistons.com. Check out the Stark motorcycle. It's absolutely phenomenal. R&D by Seb. That's really cool, man. So we talked about you maybe racing Sebastian down the road a little bit, but any way you look at it, this is a long-term thing for you. You're going to be involved with these guys for a while. That's what you look at?
Yeah. That's the goal. I mean, they put me in charge of all the development and the testing. So, we have one bike today, but more coming. So that's quite a bit some work on that side. And I mean, just to say that, I mean, the company is amazing. I mean, it's a lot of young guys and everybody is very motivated, and that's what is good. I mean, we work, really hard, but we get results. So that's why, I mean, I'm very motivated, and I know the guys are there to stay and move things and change things. And that's the goal. I mean, I think, the 4-stroke changed the racing, compared to 2-stroke. And I think we are at the same page today. I mean, the electric will change the racing the same way.
Yeah, I believe so too. And are you still doing some coaching and some teaching on the side? Or are you still
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit less because I take a lot of time, but some of it, yes, for sure.
Anything else?
Just few people.
Anything else for Seb before we let him go?
You have to know. I mean, we're all assuming that eventually the regular major manufacturers, whatever you want to call them, have electric bikes in development. Do you feel a bit of a rush here that it appears you have them covered for now, unless Yamaha or Honda's got something coming in a month that we don't know about? Was that a goal to try to beat them to the punch? Is that something you're thinking about, or are you just on your own timeline doing your own thing?
No, I think we were focused on getting our own timeline, and technology-wise, that's our advantage. I mean, we developed quite a bit, and I think we'll be ahead for quite some years on technology-wise, and that's the goal of the company. I mean, we are looking at more things to make even things better, and so I think the people will catch up. I mean, obviously, when the bike will be out, obviously will fall into different hands. And that's the way it is. And but I think technology wise, I think we have to get a bike to this level. For sure, you need at least 2 years. And I think Honda came up with some kind of a 250F motorcycle. I mean, electric. They show it in Japan. So I think people are getting there, and they understand is the need to have something like that, because maybe not in the US, but in Europe, you cannot go anywhere. And what the electric will do is the same as for the mountain bike. Yeah, I think we will open the crowd to a new crowd of people who just want to have a bike and they can ride it, and you don't have to worry about changing pistons or anything. You just have to change the chain and basically the what you regularly use on a motorcycle. I mean, that bike is the goal of it is to make it bulletproof for 1,000 hours, and that's the same with was the Alta. I mean, it is the bike that normally you can wash it, put it on the side, and then the bike is ready to go, and you don't have time. You don't need to spend time working on it. And the guy who doesn't know how to ride, I mean, he can buy the bike and evaluate and go better and better and better, and just without switching motorcycles. And I think that's where the new crowd will come, because they will be able to see more things. And I think for the sport, we'll have also new sponsor, because a lot of sponsors are interested in being green. And the fact that you have a bike that is green help also to collaborate with some new companies.
Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to it. I'm a fan of the Alta. I can't wait to get to ride a Stark. Hopefully down the road I can do that. Eric Pennard was on. I did my podcast last week, so him and I talked about it. He said we'll try to get me one, and I can't wait. I'm excited. Thanks, Seb. Thanks for the time, man. I know you got up early for this, and so I really appreciate it. Really cool for you to inform our listeners all about the Stark and your involvement in it and everything else, man. Yeah, thanks for the time.
No, it was a pleasure. No problem. Like I said, just make a phone call, and I'm not too far.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Seb.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good evening.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Sebastian Tortelli, everybody. I feel like I need a smoke after Seb and James Stewart.